Hello again. I'm not a leading member of Diane Abbot's fan club, but to blame the government for a possible case of rape in a hotel full of asylum seekers is a little odd, even for her. It is, I think, generally agreed that many of the illegal immigrants who cross the English Channel are motivated less by a fear of persecution and violence than by a desire for a better standard of living than that which they might enjoy in their own countries. I do not say that there may not be, mingled with these adventurers, some genuine refugees, but they are surely in a minority. That so, those who risk the crossing every day in their hundreds must really expect to take their chances and not necessarily be provided with full board and lodging. It is interesting in that context to note that when the authorities at the reception centre at RAF Manston in Kent decided to reduce the numbers there, all they needed to do was to let the residents out and just ask for a name and address where they would be staying. The overwhelming majority had relatives and friends already living in London. I dare say that all these people will now go underground and work illegally in the so-called black economy. Those who do not have connections here are placed in hotels and given 3 meals a day and not expected to contribute anything to their keep. I would describe that as generous on the part of the British taxpayer to put them up in this way. Mind, like most taxpayers, I was never asked about this, but that's a separate matter entirely. Among the young men placed in these hotels are teenagers and others claiming to be children. Mostly when scientific methods are used, it's found that they are nothing of the kind. But left-wing types like to talk about vulnerable children. There was an allegation of rape in a hotel full of illegal immigrants in the London borough of Waltham Forest. A teenage boy said that an older man had raped him. The police investigated, arrested a man, and then released him on bail. The truth is that when a load of young men and teenage boys are crammed together, whether in prison, army barracks, or boarding schools, that kind of thing happens sometimes. It's nothing at all to do, by the way, with race, nationality, or ethnicity. It's happened in this country over the years. Churchill once described the traditions of the Royal Navy as rum, sodomy, and the lash. It's just one of those things that happens when you cram young men together. It is to be deplored, but it is predictable. Diane Abbot, though, thinks she knows who is to blame for this alleged offence, and it's certainly not the man who apparently raped a teenage boy. It is, of course, Suella Braverman, the Home Secretary. In a tweet yesterday, to which I give a link in the description to this video, she says, "Teenage boy raped at hotel housing refugees. Terrible case, but it's what happens when you demonise migrants and take no responsibility for safeguarding migrant children. Hashtag Suella Braverman out." Even for Diane Abbot, that is a bit much. How on earth has demonising migrants, assuming that this has happened, caused a young man to rape a teenage boy? I honestly do not understand the mechanism by which this could possibly be a case of cause and effect. And how has Suella Braverman been responsible? What is her connection with the rape? I wonder if viewers remember the uproar when Braverman used the word invasion to describe what was happening in Kent. Yet Abbott is, it seems, free to try and use an alleged case of rape in this way in connection with asylum seekers, and nobody bats an eyelid. Extraordinary double standards.